What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Andy Ruiz Jr. Andy Ruiz was asked about a possible fight with him and Deontay Wilder, and this is what he had to say. He said, of course, everybody's been talking about that fight. I would love to fight Wilder and Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. Those are the words from Andy Ruiz. And how do I counterpunch? Well, this is nothing new. I've heard Andy call out Tyson Fury. I heard his interest in Deontay Wilder since he took the belts momentarily off of Anthony Joshua. So that actually was the fight that they were trying to push to make at one point, if you guys can remember, when Deontay all of a sudden wanted the rest of the belts from Andy Ruiz now that Andy Ruiz had them. Now that he doesn't, I think that Andy Ruiz is the type of guy now that's just trying to get his bearings back. I think, of course, he's meaning in the future. How far into the future, we don't know, because Andy Ruiz is a work in progress. Okay, he's under construction. Andy Ruiz, he's looking forward to fighting Chris Arreola to get his bearings back, to test out his new trainer, the Reynoso, Eddie, right? I don't know where Chepo is, but Eddie and Chepo Reynoso are training him right now, as far as I know. And I think that if Andy fights someone like Wilder, it will be a very, very interesting fight. Now, to hear Andy Ruiz call out fighters, that's one thing. It sounds good, but I'm really not convinced at this point about Andy Ruiz, because until Andy Ruiz can get back into the ring, until we know that he is marketable again, which I think he is. I don't know. I don't think he's a pay-per-view star. No. But I think that he has a big enough following after doing what he did in 2019 to muster up enough attention against someone like Wilder. Okay, and Wilder has to do the same thing. Now, as far as calling out Tyson Fury, I mean, everybody calls out Fury because he's the only unbeaten heavyweight champion that we have. Anthony Joshua, of course, is beaten by Andy Ruiz. Okay, so I think Andy Ruiz's deal is, I think he needs to get his bearings back, and I think he's just talking to be talking, because when push came to shove and those fights were available for Andy Ruiz, he was nowhere to really want to be found. Okay, he didn't want those fights with Dillian White or Luis Ortiz, so we know that. Okay, we've went over that again and again. But asking, yeah, of course, everybody's been talking about that fight. I would love to fight Wilder and Tyson Fury. I look at that, if you guys didn't catch that with how he worded it, I would love to fight Wilder and Fury. So that's just like saying, hey, would you like to fight a particular person? And then you're like, well, hey, I would like to fight him and someone else. They didn't ask you about Tyson Fury. They asked you about Wilder. Because Deontay Wilder is the fight that can easily be made because they're both with Al Heyman. Al Heyman advises both fighters on the PBC, on the Fox networks. That's how it gets and goes together. So that fight would make more sense if both of these guys can make a comeback, start winning, and then let's build this fight together. I think that would be the next possible, best, logical thing to do between those two guys. But Andy Ruiz, I think, first of all, we need to see what he can do, what he's learned from Eddie Reynoso. Will he look any faster? Will he look any better? Will he have the energy and the strength? And then you ask yourself about Andy. I've looked at him, and he's chunking these weights up. I mean, he's chunking them. Wow. You know what I mean? He's a strong guy, and he has these strong, massive hooks. And I will have reveal footage to you guys later on in the week about this, about his training and updates and stuff like that. But he's looking good, okay? But I think at this point, him just saying, oh, of course, I would love to fight Wilder and Fury, I think that's just a politician answer. That's just an answer, an unpopular answer to answer a question that you may not really want to fight those guys right now. But anyway, that's just my counterpunch on it. You guys tell me what you think about Andy Ruiz saying, of course, I would love to fight Deontay Wilder. Please subscribe, and you guys been counterpunching. Peace.